Welcome back, everyone, to the Pillars of Eternity Let's Play.
I'll take
I
care
imagine this is recording. Yes, it is. Okay. Just double checking. This time around, we're gonna go this way.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea. Which is
Okay, I don't want to go that way now.
Hey,
Soul Adrift Prison. Over this way then. And watch me clip through my allies.
if it makes you rest easier.
How much health does he even have? Got more than me. Hydroanimat. Oh. I'll go down there, you Lauren. What's this? Soul Guardian Pillars. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with the main story. I don't want to go to these areas just to fight.
Yes. Yes.
Let's body attunement. Strike hard. Rid of its damage reductions. You can shoot that. Damn. Relax.
Stand still.
Okay.
Tell me,
hmm?
que?
Hey,
What?
I?
Trap. Yeah.
I shall.
Okay. Obviously, the right way to go is where all the traps are. Oh, there aren't any enemies beyond this door. There aren't.
Yes?
On your word.
Stop sneaking. Holy cow, he's slow.
What is it?
Quick saving again. Alright. A lot of weird looking thing. The column of Adra rises above you, stoic and silent, its rigid layers a measuring stick for the passing of ages. It feels to you as a thick block of ice, and you perceive buried deep in its core a dim flickering flame, all but extinguished, yet preserved against the ravages of the elements. At your approach, the flame seems to steady and draw strength, and the layers separating it from you melt away. You are bathed in its glow, a bright beacon in the gloom. The glow seems to fade, as though you had adjusted to its intensity, and where it was, Iovara seeps into existence, an idyllic shade hovering above the moist prison floor. Though ageless, she appears somehow different to you now, a slight stoop to her carriage, perhaps, or a trace of sunkenness in her eyes. There is a broad scar across her face, fibrous and wormy where flames once lapped, unhealed even in death.
You've come back. I had thought to have set you on the right path ages ago. Or did I merely fail a second time?
Is she actually talking to me?
You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
It would seem that I have unfinished business here.
I'd hoped after our last discussion you would find what you sought. Has it eluded you all this time? I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place. changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
Theos diverted them from the cycle. He seeks to empower Wutica, to blame Animancy for the damage he's caused.
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide.
You knew me when Theos did. There's something I need to know about that time.
I will tell you what I remember.
There's something about that lifetime my soul can't let go of. I need to know what it is, and I'm running out of time. I see moments from that life of you, of the Inquisition, of Theos.
I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true.
And what was that? Yovara's mouth tightens and her brow furrows a look of pity. Her eyes shift back and forth between each of yours, as if looking for something that would help her decide whether to speak.
That the gods aren't real.
How are you so sure? Ilgina throws her head back and laughs gleefully. Of course not! It all makes sense now.
I'd dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief.
Delimgon. So it is Delimgon and not Elimgon? I have no idea now. How are they not real? We spoke to one.
She's not serious.
Yeah.
Perhaps not to her. Many are those whom the gods have scorned. This is petty retribution.
There's a theory puts my boldest to shame. But we ourselves have seen the gods' influence.
Pretty much what he says.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Something like what? What is the entity we spoke to? It was created by people? The builders? Who created these gods and what for what?
They were conceived by Engwith, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people. In their time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Engwithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators. Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone.
So the gods are not actually gods, just beings of high power in some cosmic world or existence? Like the steward in my stronghold, maybe? I don't know.
It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
How did you discover this?
The Engwithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them, and in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be.
Later on, I left the Order, and a few Angwithans found my words persuasive and joined my cause. Few Angwithans found my words persuasive. They revealed what I did not already know. This is why you started your own faith.
I never thought of it as faith, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine.
Is that true, what you taught? That's a stupid question.
You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own.
Yovara scans her audience in silence, her eyes thoughtful, lingering on each member of your company in turn, finding interest in things unseen.
What if all the tragedy, all the persecution, came in defense of an imposter?
That's not... That can't be right. Aethys, he's done miracles for people.
The power of the gods is undeniable. The truth of the story they weave is not. What if it were forbidden knowledge rather than fault that earned your doom? What of your guilt?
Margren set a path for me. She is fickle and cruel, but that is how she teaches. You know nothing of the fires that have shaped me.
And what if the fires themselves were lies? Lies you told yourself to bridge the gap between experience and truth.
Beads of sweat coalesced on Durrance's forehead and trickled down the sides of his face in streaming rivulets, as though he were a block of ice standing before a great pyre. Good, make him think a little while. I don't like him anyway.
What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Isn't he with us?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
What? I thought I was your guide. Well, they must be talking about something else I don't know.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. If all our common threads are spun from a lie, what's left to bind us together?
Make true common threads?
All of us across Aora are trying to survive, to make sense of the world. What could better bind us together than that struggle? We'll find our own truths. Make them if we must.
Yeah.
We don't need an ancient lie to bolster us. United, the Angwithans created gods. Mortal men and women coming together to do the impossible. Let us surpass them.
Yeah.
What if even mastery over all things cannot answer the most basic of questions?
I stopped asking those questions long ago. It is enough to care for those we love with the time we have in this life. You feel the weight of Iovara's translucent eyes upon your soul. What if we can be assured of nothing? Only values and things we create ourselves? I don't believe in that. Then we had best build our own strength so we can bear it. that's a decent one. The only when we cease to exist as beings can peace be found? No. Then it is the questions that have always posed more value than their answers. That's not a terrible one. And fewer people who realize that, the better. I like 6. And all we can do is endure. Doesn't seem like they give us much of a choice in the matter.
The wheel would seem to grant us little choice in the matter. Yet surely we are capable of more than mere endurance. Surely when the truth is laid bare to all, this suffering can truly be overcome. I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it.
Like what?
Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
Fabricated reason is better than none at all? Does it really matter ultimately? What is the goal? What is the goal in mind of this idea? There has to be a goal behind it. Why are we here? What do we do? And why do we have to do it? Here. I don't think it makes much difference either way.
I often wonder that myself. If things had gone differently, if the world had taken my faith instead of the Anguithin's faith, would it truly be what I had envisioned?
Never know.
I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand.
For the first time, hints of doubt trace her serene visage.
I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
As she asks, the memory springs to your mind immediately as though it had just happened. Why did I choose the Inquisition in the past? Disliked you. Teachers were thrown to all believe then. I wanted to please the gods. Capture brought me glory. This sounds like the most reasonable and one that makes most sense. I was afraid of what Theos might do to me if I didn't agree to it.
Woodica gifted him a great many things, but his ability to manipulate was always his own. Good. Good. The things I taught, the things I believed, I needed to hear that. I needed to know it wasn't because...
Because I thought Theos was right. I needed to know it because... It wasn't because after everything you'd learned, you'd still rather believe in a lie. If that is the conclusion people reach once they know everything, then my purpose has been a mistake. It seems a harsh connection to draw.
We knew little of each other before you arrived at my camp. You might have been anybody. Which is why your choice meant everything. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
You're never going to be able to convince everyone of everything, true or not. There will always be a dissent.
I expected dissent, but I needed to know that true faith would prevail. Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know, nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do.
Suspicions are...
And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
It wasn't me who made that choice. I had no responsibility for it.
At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish, but now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs. Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
This place is sun and shadow. What is it? I could tell you what I believe, but again, it would be no proof. I have only what I have seen, and what others have told me about it. There's only one man, I can tell you now, who knows it to a certainty. You shall face him soon enough. But I'll leave you to see it for yourself and make your own judgments. Better for your soul that way, I think. You're bound here until the end of time.
In a matter of speaking. This is Braeth Yamen, the court of the penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Woodica is eternal. They linger above, at the side of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle.
Beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge your soul to them, be lifted from the world above. So does she have to, a god, so she can't pray to any, or beg forgiveness of another god instead of like Woodica? Doesn't make sense.
This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition, but time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Theos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then.
Better to be on their side than Woodica's.
Better to be on no side at all. Woodica may be the most dangerous of the gods, but make no mistake. Engwith built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing.
So she says the gods aren't real, and yet she still calls them gods. What? I'm sorry, but can't you come up with like an actual, proper word or name for what they are?
But these souls, these forgiven the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end.
Why don't you repent? You could be free of this place.
Last time someone asked me that, I was bound to an iron wheel with a broken spine. There are many things I've come to doubt about the choices I made in life, but that trial was my one moment of certainty, even without a chorus of gods to tell me I had been right. The gods need to be reminded that we have a spirit, and that spirit is proof against their power. They have the power to manipulate and confuse and ruin us, but not to change our will. I will remain here until the world crumbles and fades from existence, with joy in my heart, knowing I've shown them what they truly are.
Uh-huh. How did you speak Kadiran? I don't know. That seems kind of an interesting question. Did she speak a different language before? I don't know. Why hast thou done all this?
He cares only for the secret he keeps locked away. He destroys anyone who might discover it, no matter their chances. That's why he's always favored Woodica. It isn't in her love of promises or justice. It's her disregard for the rules. Her willingness to do what is necessary. To Theos, she's not a deity, but an ally with which to conspire. When her power waxes, she does as she pleases with this realm, as well as hers. And she wants that secret guarded as much as he. If Theos succeeds, there will be a shift in the balance of power among the gods. Woodica was vanquished once, when the other gods decided she had gone too far, and her power diminished. With this infusion, there is no telling what she will do. The only certainty is that there will be chaos in their realm, as well as ours.
Alright. How can I get Theos to tell me what I need to know?
You will not find a more resolute being on all of Aeora. There is no offer you could make, nor spell you could cast, nor pain you could inflict that would make him reveal what he hides. But I see you have become a watcher in this life. Perhaps in defeat, when he can no longer defend himself, you might learn something from him.
Do you know what it is I need from Theos?
I could not say for sure. But you have been to Sun and Shadow before, and it came at a crossroads in your life, when much of what you knew had been upended. I have to believe it will come to you there. Your concerns then were of loyalty and trust and the gods. Everything I told you seemed to send you further into doubt. His words mattered to you when you knew him then. After you and I spoke, you went immediately to seek him out. Perhaps you simply sought confirmation from the man you trusted. If something from that time still troubles you, it may be something he told you then, or refused to tell you. He keeps secrets better than any in this world.
Question I had in the very beginning of the game, when we first saw one of those big pillar things. That scripted interaction. It's time for me to go.
Theos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again.
Let's go with one. The gods have given me the souls of their forgiven. If you repent, you could join with them. Help me strike the final blow against Theos.
If I repent, all I have done has meant nothing.
You so sure? And I will waste no more time. Farewell, Ilvara.
Your soul deserves an end to its suffering. I'm sorry I wasn't able to grant it myself. May it come to you swiftly. If ever we should meet again, in this life or any other, I hope to find you at peace.
That will be the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This is heavy. We'll see you in the next one.